Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Oh, well, it's grey, it's wet, it's dull, it's miserable. So that's the summary from Bristol, UK today. I'm just making sure my phone's on silent. How are we all on this lovely grey, miserable day? I have a cold. Shock. So winter is definitely, truly on its way. But I'm going to let that hold me back. So if I'm a bit sniffly, I apologise. If I'm a bit croaky, I apologise. It's just how it is. So I'm just going to give everybody a little moment to come on over and catch us up. Be nice to see everybody. Come and say hello. Let me know what the weather is like where you are. Good morning, Rachel. How are you? Wet and windy Barrow. Yeah, it's just not nice, is it? Like I'm looking outside. It is grey. It's very grey. It's wet. I wouldn't say it's cold. We haven't got the heating on. It's just kind of winter's definitely coming. So, with that in mind, I've broken my rule and we're talking about Christmas in November. Now, I say this jokingly because it's joking but not joking. Those who know me know I will not embrace Christmas in if it's before December. I'm very much a Christmas is December girl. However, I do appreciate and recognise that sometimes we just need to accept and embrace Christmas in November. Oh, where are you? I am missing a tree. That is a concern. Where did you go? Did you fall out? Let's see if you fell out from a little bag of stuff. Did you fall out? Nope. Where are you? Oh, interesting. A little tree has gone missing. I'll find him. He's around. I had them last night. Literally had them this morning. Anyway, whilst I'm faffing about looking for that, good morning. Seeing some people come in. Good morning. Good morning, Laura and everybody. Just me. Hi, Carol. How are you? I've just got Savannah inside. I'm doing this because Savannah's just come in to say hello. Hello. She is a lot better now, thank you. Those who know, she wasn't very well literally about a month ago. She had to have her little emergency surgery, but she is so much better now. I think she must have been a little bit poorlier for longer than we realised. So she is very much back to her normal happy self. I'm looking for that tree. It's very annoying. Good morning, Elaine. How are you today? Good morning, Amelia. How are you today? Amelia without I had the silver version. She saw it last night. Good morning, Mina. How are you? Right, let's go ahead, get this camera added, and I can then share the trees. Hi, I'm Pamela. I'm going to take a guess that we've got Pamela here. All right, let's add this camera in. So we do have 3 trees, and I will find the third. Just hiding. That's all I can say. Hiding on me. Why? Why? It's if I had it. Where did it go? I'll find it. I will find it. But it will appear. It will appear. I'll find it. But today we're going to be doing our little Christmas tree of lives. So I am going to switch the camera so you can see these lovely little makes. We have 3 colorways. We have a silver, a gold, and a sort of rose gold, sort of pinky color. And this is just a little bit of a take on your traditional tree of life design. So everybody, I feel like, lots of people are familiar with your trees of life. They're a very sort of popular design as well. You can personalize a tree of life. It's really bugging me where that tree's gone. You can personalize your tree of life. You can make them gemstone specific, but I thought, well, let's go a little bit different and do a Christmas tree of life. Good morning, Joanne. How are you today? Stormy weather today in Coventry. Yeah, it's just, I think we can basically agree it's a grey and miserable day. It's really annoying me. I literally had it this morning. I had it. Where did it go? Does this happen to anybody else where things just disappear? Just why? How? Where? Why? We have a picture. We have a picture. It'll be all right. Amelia, you can vouch for me that you saw it last night, can't you? You saw it last night. Haven't lost the plot. So it's really going to frustrate me. It's fine. We'll move on from it. We'll move on. So we do have a silver version. So we have 3 different colorways of these really sweet little tree of lives. Now, you could do these in as a Christmas tree decoration, but I just think they're a really cute pendant to wear. You know, when people go out for your Christmas parties and you want to wear like a nice pendant for Christmas, like a Christmassy pendant, like a novelty style. I just thought these are a really cute way to sort of achieve that. Now, again, we have got some amazing kits coming up for you today. These kits are going to basically make sure that you are going to have a hot. Oh, found it. Found it. Excuse me. We have the silver version as well. So we have a silver, a gold, and a rose gold sort of pinky color. Now, the intention with these kits is that you will actually have enough in these kits to make 4 Christmas tree of lives. Okay, now you might just choose make 1 and maybe make a gemstone necklace to go with it. You have so many of these beautiful gemstones and these gorgeous little micro faceted crystals, which I mean, I have to say, I showed these to some of my friends, and we are all very sort of like, everyone has their sort of standard colorway, but I'm more of a silver and copper girl. But I feel like for me, my favorite does lean towards this green and gold. I think it's very classic Christmas. Sorry, very classic Christmas colors, and it just has that sparkle and really stands out. For me, is one of my favorites. So you have the gold and green, and then you've got your sort of bit more sort of your reddy tones in this one, with the red sort of red and gold micro crystals, and then of course your silver and green. Again, another classic combination. You can see you've tried to do like a little bit of a the tree's always in a little bucket or in a little Christmas tree skirt. So we are gonna go ahead and see how we can get our hands on these lovely kits. Do come in, do come and say hello. Do let me know what you're up to today or this weekend, and of course what the weather is like, because for me the weather is awful, and from what I'm gathering, a lot of you, it's quite awful for everybody. Good morning. Joanne says, perfect day for staying home and creating beautiful things. Today I'm making a chainmail bracelet for my son as he started his first job. I'm so proud. That sounds amazing, Jaron. What bracelet are you making and what weave are you using? I'm just going to be drinking my coffee. I'm kind of like, you know, my mug is from Greece, so channeling those summer vibes. Yeah, so what are you allowed to say what his job is? That sounds really exciting. I'm going to go ahead and take us over to our website so we can see exactly what you do get in these gorgeous kits, and what we are looking at. So let's. Morning, Angela. You dogs need a walk. I mean, hopefully you've got good weather to walk them in, because we certainly haven't. I don't know about anybody else who are pet owners, but when it's raining, you open the back door for us. We open the back door to let them out for, you know, to go to do their business, and you literally have to boot them out. You're like, out you go, because they just don't want to go out in this rain. Right, I'm going to take you over to the website. So let's take you over to totalbeads.co.uk as always, and then we want to go into our video tutorials. And then if you look down here, we can see the lovely Christmas tree of life. You get your video, which is what we're recording now. And then if you look down, you have your 3 different colorways. Now, you have got a deal at the moment, 10% off. So obviously the price is just slightly different because of the type of gemstones we have used. So we have a green aventurine with the silver, we have the malachite with the gold, and we have the unakite with the sort of rose gold pink. So obviously that's why there's a slight price difference, because the malachite is just that little bit more of an expensive gemstone, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And for this price, remember I said you can make up to 4 of these Christmas Tree of Lives, up to 4. So I mean, at 9.41 or even at 15.81, you're still looking at less than £5 per tree, even at the most sort of the more pricier kit. When I was selling my Tree of Lives, my standard Tree of Lives, I would sell them for £15. So straight away, you've got one and you've got your money back. Now I feel like these are going to be absolutely fantastic for like I say, your Christmas stalls, your Christmas market, or even just your gifts. Like I know I have friends that, it's an ongoing battle and joke between us, but I have friends who love Christmas in November and will start putting their decorations up. In fact, one of my friends sent me a video of all of her decorations being put up literally this week. So for me, I just think these are great little gifts to give to my friends that they could wear. You know, your Secret Santa. What a great Secret Santa gift to give somebody. If you know, and again, you can convert this into a tree decoration, whatever you want. I think they're just really cute, quirky little pendants. Good morning. Just a couple of more people have come in. So good morning, Anastasia. Peace and love. Andrew says it's sunny here and I can never say it. Far. I'm doing a craft fair tomorrow. I hope I will do well. I'm sure you do amazing, Angela. And then we've got, she says, I brought my grandson a mug warmer for Christmas. You'll never have a cold coffee again. I actually have. Is that like the little here? I can't even show you because I can't. I'll probably cause chaos, but I don't know if I can see it. This is like a USB. It's not plugged in, but it's meant to be like a little mug warmer. So yeah, I got that for my birthday. Joanne says he's gone into engineering, very intricate, using many different machines. I'm not sure what weave he has requested, but I'll share a pic once I've finished it. Maybe you could tell me. Fantastic, Joanne. Make sure you tag me in it. You know, I'm Laura Binding on Facebook, so make sure you tag me, and of course Totally Beads, because we love to see what you make. Morning, Leslie. How are you doing, lovely? It's been so long. Beautiful day here today, but chilly snow. Leslie, snow on the way next week. Oh, Leslie's in Scotland, and I am jealous because I want snow. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead and see what we get in these kits, and then I can start making this demo for you. So just going over to the green adventuring. So you will get a whole strand, and when I say a whole strand, I mean a long strand of your gemstones. This is what I've got left from just making one, so I'll show you properly in a moment, but you get a whole long strand of your adventuring. You then get your strand of your micro faceted crystals, and then you will get your wire. So you will get some 1 mil wire, and you get 2 meters of your 1 mil wire, and then you will get 4 meters of your 0.4. So your 0.4 is what we use to create the tree, and of course the decoration, and your 1 mil is what I'm going to use to make the actual frame itself. So the green adventuring, you get the green adventuring gemstone chips, and you get the like silver toned microfaceted crystals. And of course you get the silver wire in your 1 mil and your 0.4. Now, as I said, you might choose to just make one pendant and use the rest of this as a lovely stash builder. You could maybe make a necklace with the leftover chips. Lots of ideas and potentials there for these kits. Really lovely kits to work with as well. Then of course you have your sort of, let's go back and see. We have the Unakite. Let's look at the Unakite. I'll save the gold to last because I'm going to use the gold to demonstrate. So with the Unakite, look at these strands. I mean, these beads are absolutely gorgeous, and I love the color tone that you get on them. You get the sort of this lovely salmony pinks, this lovely earthy green, all these different tones. And again, I just think absolutely gorgeous for your sort of organic tree design. And then these lovely, I really love these crystals. They are kind of like a metallic rusty gold red, and just gorgeous, and really I feel complement the unakite, however you say it. I always say unakite, but so people call it unakite. And of course you do get your sort of it is classed as rose gold, but it is more of a pinky kind of color wire, and again just really finishes that off as that lovely sort of more pinky reddy toned necklace. And then of course We have the classic gold and green, and with this one we are using our malachite. Let's put this here. So we get our gold wire, we get the gold microfaceted crystals, and we get this gorgeous strand of malachite. Now these strands are absolutely each of them are different. The green aventurine is just a little bit more chunky than the other two. It's just because of the nature of the gemstone. These are a little bit more sort of smaller, more chipped. This, I have to say, is probably my favorite combination, just because I think it's very classic. Although I do love the unakite and the rest. But again, that to be honest, I love them all. I love them all. So remember, you get enough in these kits to make up to 4 Tree of Lives, up to 4. So, you know, obviously, depending on the sizes you make them, I can put them on the main screen. I just needed you to see the kits and the contents. So I'll stop sharing them now, but just to remember that you get $9.41 for the unakite, $14.81 because we currently have 10% off of the malachite, and then your green aventurine, sorry, is also $9.41, and you'll just see on there that the gemstones are just that little bit bigger and chunkier. So those are the trees. I will stop sharing now and show you the pieces again up close. So we have the gorgeous malachite with the gold colorway. I will just very quickly re-show you, excuse all the and make sure you I'm rubbish at tying up the strand. The unakite and the crystals, as you can see there, these are just gorgeous, and I just think they really complement each other. I'll just find that tree for you so you can really hopefully see how they work together. And I think with that pink, it just really ties it together. But then again, this would be lovely with the gold as well. I just felt that the pinks tied in with the pink wire, so we have that as your combination. And again, those unakites are a little bit smaller in their gemstones, as are the malachite. And then you have the green aventurine, which are a little bit more of a chunkier gemstone chip, but you do have those slightly smaller ones. You have the lovely silver, and of course you have the tree just here. So both of the kits I've just shown you, these ones are $9.41, and then the malachite and gold version is $14.81, but we do have the malachite gemstone chips in there, which is why it's slightly higher in price. So this is your silver and green aventurine colorway, and then, as I said, we've got the gold and the malachite. And again, absolutely tons in these kits. Just put that back. And then we have, of course, that final, which is that malachite and that gold, which we have here. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you with this for 2 reasons. 1, I think is a great combination, and 2, you're going to be able to see it nice and clearly. So we're going to have our 1 mil wire. So as I said, you get sort of you get 2 meters of your 1 mil wire, and you'll get 4 meters of your 0.4. So when it comes to your wire, I mean, I personally, because the Totally Beads wire is lovely, it's nice and malleable. I just wanted to go for that slightly doubled up look. So I actually used 2 pieces. Now, if you wanted to extend the kit even further, you could, of course, just go in and use 1 piece. Because it's a 1 mil wire, it has got the strength to, you know, it has got the strength to hold with just 1 piece of wire. And of course, you could hammer it as well, but for me, I actually quite like this sort of layered curve, and I just feel like it just makes it a little bit sturdier, and it gives me a nice way to finish off the design at the top. So that is the back of the design, just so you can see the back. And then you have the front. And I kind of like that swirl at the top because it makes it, to me, that finish to the top of the tree. So let's go ahead and have a little look. So again, depending on how big you want your tree to be. So I suspect the next question, oh, I don't have this. Let me see if I've got one in that does measures in inches as well. Bear with me. Oofed. Right. So if we were looking at this, It is approximately 1.5 inches across, and then all the way up to the bail inclusive, just over 2.5 inches. But the sort of top of the tree is 2 inches. So just about 2.5, including that bail here. But if you go to the top of it, you're looking at about 2 inches. So if you sort of looked at that, you're thinking 2, 4, and then 6. So you probably want about 9 inches, maybe go to 10. So if you have 2 lengths of 10 inches ish, I mean, I'd say, you know, trial and error it a little bit. It also depends on what size you want your pendant to be as well. You know, I'm very evasive when it comes to exact amount of wire, and we want 2 pieces. Okay, again, you can measure it. I said it was about 1.5. And you want to kind of go into that middle of it. So, you know, if you almost bring it to a point and then sort of look at where that flat part is, that's the bit we want to flatten out to be the bottom of the tree. And it's going to come together, and it's going to just straighten with your finger the edges to get that shape. And again, you don't have to measure it. I'm not really a measurer, as you know. I kind of just like to sort of go by eye. But if I looked at that and said it's probably going to be about 2 inches, it's just a little bit more. So I can bring that down a little bit. Okay. Now, when you do the second piece, you want to do the same again, but what you want to do is just kind of, it wants to go on the outside. So you don't want to do 2 pieces at the same time, because you want it to sit outside it, not cross. So I'm just going to kind of just gently use this as a reference, and then I can just bend my wire here, and then I can use my wire again here. So it just slightly sits outside, and it's a slightly, very slightly bigger version. So you can still tweak this as well. It's a little bit too big, so I'll probably just... Now, if you make it a tiny smidge too big, what you can do is take your pliers at that bend, just kind of flatten it and very lightly reposition it. And then you can just place them slightly over. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just think it sits that little bit nicer if you can sit it just slightly inside. Maybe that just a tiny bit. So again, just kind of coming in and just reforming that, placing it into place. There we go. We've got a nice 2 of them there, and you can kind of just cross over and cross over. And there we go. Okay, just make sure you got it nice, and because we're not going to be weaving it or anything like that, so we want it nice and tidy. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, so I'm just taking a moment to just make that straight. There we go. And I'm going to place that in like so. Sorry, I know I just hit the camera. I've got them so they're kind of crossing like this. I'll make sure they're sitting how you want them to sit, inside each other. There we go, perfect. And then I'm just going to bring them so I'm happy with the shape of the tree. The way it's going, and then I'm just going to take one of the wires. I'm looking at it. I'm probably going to take this one. It's slightly longer, but it's shorter than these ones, and it's on the outside. So you see how it's sitting on the outside? So it means I can bring these up and I just wrap one sort of 2 times. Careful when you do that, because that pulled it out slightly. So I can just bring that back down to sit how I want that to sit. There we go. This is probably the most tricky part, is just getting that frame right. There we go. Taking your time. There. Good morning, Camille. Didn't get pinged from Facebook. Oh, sorry about that. I've definitely just had a quick check and definitely streaming to Facebook. So yeah. Well, good morning. Hope you're okay. Okay, so we've just got that shape now, and I can place that down, and I'm happy with that. And I've got these sitting how they could do. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So we've got that ready to go, and like I said, we're just going to just kind of elongate that a little bit and then make sure it's sitting how you want it to sit. I'm just going to maybe, there we are. Oh yeah. Okay, so we've got that, and then the next thing I want to do is basically we're going to form the tree section. So I'm going to take my 0.4 wire, and what I want to do is I need to have, I used about 4 pieces, and I've got the 4 pieces, but they're doubled up. So I'm actually going to kind of use 4 pieces that are about, I think I measured them to be about, again, really 11 inches or so. About 11 inches, because they're just going to make the tree, and we can use some extras. So I'm going to just take 4 lengths. I'm just cutting them off. Well, you can see me over here. I forget you can see both screens. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've got my 4 screens here. Bring it up a little bit for you. And I'm going to just go slightly off the middle and wrap it through. So I've literally got just sort of about half and half either side. And then I'm just going to go into that middle. I've got it slightly off. One side's very slightly shorter than the other. And then I'm just going with the longer side around once, around twice, and then back up. So the reason I had a slightly longer and a slightly shorter side is because I wrapped that slightly longer side, and it's just brought them a little bit difference, but not loads. But that's just giving me that nice little section just here to create my twisted and the beginning of my trunk. So you can use your pliers if you want to kind of bring that a bit closer together. And we're just going to twist a couple of times. But what I'm going to do, if I get too into the twist, is I'm going to take one of these wires, aim for one of the shorter ones. I'm just going to find my way, bring it back down. So it's, see, I've just undone one of the shorter ones. And then the rest I'm going to twist. Now you can use your pliers if you find it a bit tricky to get them all. Just at the beginning bit there. Keep it central. So that's going to be our base of our tree. Okay. So how far you twist up really is up to you. Okay, just a few questions. So do you have measurements of each side of the tree, please? Yep. So I did measure it earlier, Mina, but as I said, it's about just over 1.5 inches, just over 1.25 inches for the base, and then the sides of the trees before we do the bale are about 2 inches either side. And then when we do the bale, the whole piece will probably come to just shy of 2.5 inches. Just sort of around about. So, and again, this is, I mean, you saw me kind of ish measure the bottom, and then it will come to a natural point of around about 2 inches. Okay. Would twisting the wire strengthen the frame? Yes, absolutely. You could twist two together, you could weave two together. I just kind of quite like that simplicity of it, but again, loads of options for you, 100%. Um, so I think probably I was trying to keep this on a more sort of beginner intermediate level, so it was a little bit more achievable. But you 100% twist the frame wires together, that would be beautiful. I mean, if you wanted to get two different colors, you could maybe twist like the gold and silver, or the gold and pink would look beautiful twisted together. Absolutely. You could weave them, as I said. There's lots of options. So I've got my twist, and I brought out one of the shorter wires at the base. And the reason I did that is because I found it easier to almost do the base of the tree with that little bit of decoration, the little bucket, or the tree skirt at this stage. So I've got this piece of wire, and I am simply going to pop on 1, 2, and 3 of my gold beads, and just kind of, it's a little bit tricky, but you just want to kind of hold it steady and just get it to sit around the base of that twist, and kind of go around, and then you just want to kind of get it to sit how you want it to sit. Come on in, there you go. You can go around once and then add another row. So I've added 3 and wrapped around, and then I'll probably add another 2. You don't have to do this bit, by the way, this is optional, but I just thought it was a cute little extra detail to really signify that it was a little Christmas tree. And then bring that back around. Oops, come on. So you've got that just there, and that'll kind of sit. Use your pliers just to straighten it, and that's your little Christmas pot. Your wire then comes back up into your piece, and then you can just twist it back in. Okay, so now we've done the little sort of pot section. And this is where we want to start to build out the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sort of chips. Now, as with any kind of gemstone chips, you know, they are natural, they are organic, they are going to be all different types of shapes and sizes. So I am going to just move my golds out of the way because they were trying to get involved too early. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at them. So, for example, this one's really quite a big chunky piece, beautiful, but a little bit too big and chunky. If you were to place that, it's going to hang quite low. It's going to really sort of mess with that design. Also, it's drilled quite close to the top, as you can see here. So that is going to drop like a little drop. So I'm just going to put that to one side. I'm just moving it to a side. It's not being dismissed. And I'm just going to look at these smaller pieces. So a piece like this is great. Oops, it's great because it's quite centrally drilled, and it is a small little piece. But obviously it's going to be going onto a piece of wire in this profile, so it's very thin. So again, you have to factor in how many of these am I going to need per branch. Honestly, it's kind of a bit of a let's see how many we use thing. So I'm just going to take a little bit here, and I've got just some nice little ones here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going, now I will say it depends on your gemstone chips as to whether or not you can put 2 pieces of wire through them. So with the green aventurine, you can actually get away with putting 2 pieces of wire through the drill hole. Can you do that on these? And you can on these as well. So what I'm just going to do is, we don't want the twist to be too high up. I'm just going to twist it again a little bit just to get that nice. Everything in that same place. I've got a couple, and what I'm going to kind of do is work on two sides at the same time. And then what we'll be doing is going through and then back. So you'll see on the back here, there's no wire because we literally wrap around and bring gemstones back into that middle, and then we just build into the middle and twist. Okay. Oh, you have to brave the weather to town with your mum. Well, have a nice time. Good morning, Jan. How are you? Wet Sudbury. Yep. No problem. No problem at all. Okay, so I'm just going to take two either side, and it gives me again a sort of a guide as to how high up this tree is going to go. And I'm just going to use, now you could, if it's easier, trim them to be the same length. I've got one a little bit longer than the other, and I'm just going to pop on to these wires, just two little my little gemstone chips. So and then we're just gonna, and you'll be surprised, you don't actually need too many. Now you see how this one's quite close to the top. I think it'll be all right. Drop them down, and obviously you won't actually need as many as you think because there's not that much of a gap to fill. Drop that one on, and then just a couple more. Make sure when you're measuring it, see how I'm sort of seeing how it sits. I might just do one little more thin piece. Drop that all the way down, all the way. There we go. I'm going to pop that there. Just make sure you're happy with the way your frame's sitting as well, that it hasn't sort of tipped on you or crossed like mine just did. There we go. Get that how it's meant to be. There we are. Sitting how you're meant to sit. There we are. Perfect. There we go. So now I'm going to just place this onto the edge, and then I'm just going to wrap around once with those two wires and then back on the inside, and then I'm going to come back to that center sort of trunk with some, probably could have squidged one more onto there, but that's okay. So again, make sure you've got a nice little pile of your beads ready or your chips ready, and then we're just going to add some more. So I'll probably bring this back into the middle, and then I'll go over to the other side and do the other side. So it's quite a nice equal way of bringing both of them, of building that tree up really. So I'm just trying to make sure I've got some nice, there you go, and bring that into the middle. Quite happy. Oh, hello, what happened to my camera? What happened there? I just realized your overhead camera has gone off. Yeah, no, I just saw that. I was like, oh, you've just seen my head going down. Sorry about that. I see that now. Thank you. Sorry, you didn't miss much, just me adding more beads. And then I'm just going to kind of twist this in, and I'm going to take the other side and repeat on the other side. I know. Don't know what happened there because nothing actually changed. That's really spooky. Again, I'm going to come over to this side, and I'm probably going to cut that slightly longer piece because we don't need that really long piece. The thing is, I can't, unless I look up, I don't see. So I saw your messages, but like after I'd already discovered that my overhead had switched. So that was really spooky. What happened there? Hi, Janice. No problem at all. A very wet and windy way. It's just not a nice day today, is it? But hey, all the more reason to stay in, wrap up warm, and be crafty and creative. So I was just doing a couple more on this side. And again, I'm going to bring that around and back into that middle, and then just add some more to come back. So oops, I'll just do a couple more. One more for luck. Come on then. And sorry, my son's home on an inset day, so you see me looking up. All right, thank you. We fed the dogs.
Not yet.
I'm all right, thank you. Right. Just checking if I needed a fresh coffee. Bless him. Right, so I'm going to just take one of those. So you will have to sort of like do a little test and see. Actually, we'll do this. Has it gone again? It hasn't gone again, though, has it? No. Has my camera gone again, or are we all right? Because from what I can see, we're okay. Was that just a catch up? Okay, so just coming in here, and again, I'm just going to twist and blend that in. So that's one part of the tree already done. You can start to sort of manipulate it around. Make sure I've got my sort of little tree trunk section here as I want it to be. Okay, so now we're just going to keep going, but what I want to do is just switch those shorter pieces out for like some of the longer pieces. So I'll just take some pieces from here and here and just switch them out. So I've got some longer pieces going in. Okay, it's okay. Thank you, Sheila. Right, and then we're just going to add some more. And again, you notice then I put that on and took it off. The reason that was because it's quite close to the top. So I just feel like that's a little bit too close when you're doing a little tree. Drop that down. And remember, obviously, as you're going up, that tree is getting more narrow. So you're going to need to put less and less on. That one didn't want to go on there. Just didn't want to go on the two. So let's just keep going here. Okay. And just keep checking. Can we do some more? Maybe one more very thin one. I'm paranoid now, so keep having to keep looking up and checking that you're not just seeing like my head. Thank goodness I washed my hair this morning. Okay. Okay, so again, popping that on, and again, bringing that around once, and then back around again. Just sort of keep checking it as you go in. You can see it coming together, and then same on the opposite side. It's actually quite a therapeutic design to make this one. I found it quite relaxing. I think I was watching a film. What was I doing? I think I was watching a film or maybe a bit of Married at First Sight with my friends and virtually and just sort of crafting and making these. And it's a really nice, quite a relaxing one to do. Again, a great project to do if you're sat at a stall. It's something that looks really effective that you don't have to think too much about when you're sort of creating it. So you could sort of be chatting to people, but they could see you making it. And I think that's really nice. So back on all the way around once and then back around into the middle to bring that back. So I've got both of those to come back. So let's add some more beads to bring them back. Possibly a little bit too close to the edge on that one. And you know, I mean, you see how very minimal amount I've been using. And this is the same kit, just to confirm that I actually used to make this one. So I'm still using the same kit. I've not got a second or anything like that. I'm using the same supplies. So I said you have enough here to be able to make, well, really up to 4, if not more. The reason I say that is obviously if you want to make them a little bit bigger, or you maybe want to make it into a Christmas decoration, you know, but primarily, you know, essentially you've got that opportunity to make potentially up to 4. I mean, £10 for under £10 for the Adventurine and the Unikite, and under 15 for this kit here with the Malachite. I mean, what a gorgeous gift to give a Malachite tree of life for Christmas. I just think it's really cool. And again, great if you wanted to make a secret Santa. I was talking to a friend of mine and she was saying it's time to start getting crafty for Christmas, and she likes to make gifts for her family. She likes to do resin and things like that. And again, what a great, this is for me a lovely alternative as a gift to give to somebody. Like I said, I already know a couple of my friends I would like to make these for. So we've got this tree forming nicely now. You can see it coming together. You can see that you've got that lovely shape there. And now as you're coming towards the top, again, just doing that twist, but just make sure that the wires that you pull are going to have enough wire to go, there and back again. Like these little ones here, I'm not going to use. These longer ones, I am. So we're getting right towards the top now. So you're going to need very minimal gemstones on here. So it's probably going to be 1 or 2. Just popping that one on. And can we also just say how quickly these are building as well? The ones that I'm doing, I'm just popping to the side if I feel they're a little bit too close to the top. That's absolutely fine. They've got different uses. They're not going to not get used. They're just a little bit not suitable for this particular project, that's all. But I mean, there's so much here. Pop that one on. Literally 2 little slivers just there. And I quite like the way that you get the gold popping through. I think it just really helps with that look of nature. So just pop on. Sorry, no, I just hit the camera again. This one here would be nice. And then back to here, and then that's going to twist in. Remember, we will be doing that spiral at the top, so we're really close to that top now. You can see that sort of the base of the tree now. I'm quite happy with that. You could push some of these chips across a little bit so that they kind of cover it, but I think it's quite nice. You're going to see the center of a tree, aren't you? Okay, so let's go across, maybe pop one more on, a couple more on, just grab a couple more off of here. Okay, and we are actually very nearly done. Just a couple more pieces to pop on, and then you get to do the fun part of adding on your crystals, and of course finishing this piece. So you don't have to do the crystals, but I just think it's to me it completes that sort of Christmas tree element of it. So just popping on this last one here. Okay, pop that on just into that little gap. Move the wires out of the way if they're in your way a little bit, because it's getting a little bit crowded up here, and that's fine. Back around again, and just use your pliers if you need to just grab that little wire. I'm just going to add another little one into that gap. I might add a chunky one all the way on to there and bring that in and twist. Sort of twist it all together. And then we are really towards that top now. So when you get here, you need to kind of look and think, okay, I've got my tree coming together. What wires? Now, like this wire here isn't really going to be able to do too much. So I'm going to kind of put that to one side. And I feel like I can actually cut that here because I can't really do much with it. And it can blend into the design then. So that's kind of gone into there. I'm just going to maybe sort of split out. I've got wires here and here. I just kind of think, do I want to try to put one more wire on either side? Like one more bead. It's really just having a little look. So I've just unpicked it a little bit so I can just pop on the teeniest of them. Oh, come on. There we go. And then just fill in that little gap. And then same on the other side. You're all going to come out differently. So, and then just, again, I might even just put that. There we go. So I'm going to wrap it around. I should bring it there. Bring it up and through. There we go. So we have that tree right up to the top. And we can sort of use your pliers to really sit that how you want it to sit. Might even just put one little piece just in that middle there. And then what I'm going to do with those ends is I'm actually going to take them all of the sort of the loose 0.4s, and I'm just going to wrap them around the base, right around where we originally wrapped the 1mm wire here. And I'm going to just cut them all to the front like so. Use my pliers, and I'm going to just kind of put them into place there. Okay, so there is your tree, and that's going to be covered. That's why I'm not worried about it. Now, before I know you can do this before or after adding in your crystals. So we'll do ours after. So what I want to do now is I've got my wire just here, which is wrapped around all of the sort of base wires, and we've got 3 wires here. So those 3 wires are going to sit together. Give them a little squidge to make sure they're sitting how you want them to. Okay. Now you can take bell making pliers, or I have the mandrel, the Beadsmith mandrel. This is available on the website. And I'm just going to, whichever size you really want or feel is appropriate, I'm going to just bring it around. So what I've just got to do quickly is move my base wire to the front. And I'm going to bring these around to whatever size you kind of want. Just again in balance with your pendant. Mine's I've gone for the second size. And I just want to kind of sort of really pinch that in up tight against the front of that wrap. Get it all nice and tidy. So it's gone around 3 times, all 3 wires, done nothing other than just roll them around, give it a little pinch so that they meet, and then taking that wire that we wrapped at right at the very beginning, I'm just going to wrap all those wires together. Okay, and then I'm going to snip it, and I'm just going to kind of tuck it into that bail, if it focuses. Hopefully you can see, there we go. So it's just tucked inside that bail. Then you have these wires here. So again, they may all be slightly different lengths. So I'm going to bring them around to the front and just do them into a little swirl. Now I've got one a little bit shorter than the other, so I'm just going to bring that around like this, and that's going to, every wire is going to be different. I'm not gonna sort of lie to you. Each wire will land in a different placement, and it's just kind of a little bit of adapting will be needed per wire. So I'm just rolling that so that wire tucks in just there, that little end. I'm going to just try and push it so it doesn't obviously have an end to catch or snag. Almost kind of pin it with this wire here. And then what I'm going to do with that is bring this wire, the little tail, just around the back and find a place to tuck that in somewhere just here, and sort of tuck that with a little bend up so it can't go anywhere. You've got your wrap around here. You just want to make sure that that isn't going to go anywhere. As I said, they're going to present differently on each one. Push that in, really make sure that that can't go anywhere. So just tuck that right in there. And then this wire here, you can just, really, it's up to you. I mean, I'm going to bring it around like this and then up. And then I'm going to tuck it into that piece there. So that bit you're going to have to maybe go a little bit more freeform with, because your wires will all sit differently. Every one I've made of these have all landed a little bit differently, but you just tuck that in to that bail there, and there is your finished tree of Christmas tree of life. Then what we want to do is, of course, add our crystals, and so that's nice and easy. I mean, you could just leave it like that and have a very pretty just tree of life. But what we're going to do is, oh, excuse me, we are going to take another length, probably of about 12 inches or so, maybe 13. It's probably too much, maybe about 12. And what I'm going to do is just add it into a point at the very, very top. I'm just taking that shorter end. And I'm just wrapping it a couple of times around, snip it so that making sure that the end of that goes inside into the front. And then we just add our beads. So you just want to add your beads and bring them down to be your lights. So I'm just going across, just adding a couple on. And I want to bring it across like so. So you just to place it across, add a couple on, see how many you need. So remember, and as I said, I mean, this has taken me probably what, half an hour of that to make. Bearing in mind I'm doing it slowly to tell people and show people what we're doing. So bring that across, and I'm going to bring it from across the front and up inside that frame, getting that curve as well as we go, and then bring it around once and then back up again so it's secure. And then we're going to go back across in another direction. So I'm just going to add some more beads. So this kit in particular with the gold and the malachite was $14.81, 10% off at the moment. You do get enough in this kit to be able to make 4 tree of lives, Christmas tree of lives, if you want to. Of course, you can use it for other, like a nice chain if you wanted to. But I just think these are going to be great little gifts to give to people, friends and family. Imagine going out to your Christmas party with your little Christmas tree of life on. And I think these are way prettier than the novelty stuff that you probably spend £5 to £6 on in a supermarket, and they're just a little bit of fluff or a bit of pom-poms or plastic. This is genuine gemstone. This is malachite. You know, we've got malachite, unakite, aventurine, genuine gemstones. And this is going to be a gift that keeps on lasting. So let's just bring this out a little bit. Nearly done. So bring that across again, and I'm deliberately swooping it, as you can see, and again over, so it goes around the outside and in, around once, and then bring it back around again. And then we're just, and I love the way it kind of does that traditional kind of swooping across, you know, in those sections. Couple more. I think it's probably the most stressful part of all of it, because I'm a nightmare with microfaceted beads, as we all know. They go everywhere and I can never see the drill hole. But I have a nice bright light in here, so I do recommend good lighting for this. And then going around. And then just adding a couple more on, and we have very nearly done. And whilst I'm just doing this last little bit, I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you that next week I have an exciting first. Well, I think it's a first, but I'm excited. It's first for me. We've got 1.25 mil wire coming in. 1.25 wire coming in for the live next Friday. We will be making more Christmassy themes. We'll be making a Christmas decoration using a 1.25 mil wire. I am super excited for that. So make sure you are able to join us next Friday for the 1.25 wire in a kit to make your own Christmas decorations. I'm excited for that one. So coming across there, and I kind of feel like I'm going to, maybe I'll leave it there. Let's have a quick look and just bring that around once. bring it back up. Do I want to do one more across, or are we happy with that? I feel like I'm kind of happy with that, you know. But again, you could try it. No, I feel like I'm happy with that. So I'm actually going to just cut that wire to the edge here. Make sure it's nice and no sharp edges. And there, just smack on time is your completed little Christmas tree of life. And as I said, this kit in particular is 1481, but I mean, this is a malachite tree of life, you know, a malachite excuse me, a malachite Christmas tree of life. And you have to remember, if you don't have to do Christmas tree of lives with it, you could do a couple of Christmas tree of lives and then do some standard tree of lives. You have everything that you need there for it. But there you go, there's the back of the tree, there's the front of your tree. Just take that time at the very beginning, as you saw, just to make sure you get that all nice and as you want it to be. There we go, that's nice and lined up. Now there's your little tree, potted tree, Christmas tree of life. So remember to check out the website. So yeah, you will be seeing me next Friday. You've got you've got Natalie on Monday and Wednesday. Don't forget, we do have this in the other two colorways of the silver and adventurine and your Unakite and rose gold pink color. So there are your trees, and again, everyone will be different, but have a little look, have a little check out. 941 for these two kits and 1481 for this one. I will be back next Friday with some lovely 1.25 wires, some crystals, and we will be making some wire work tree decoration. So please make sure you join me for that. I hope you have a really lovely weekend, even if it is wet and windy. I hope you have a lovely weekend.